Okay, cool. Yeah, because you guys are going on kind of like shut down a bit now, right? You're going on holidays and stuff now because it's summer, right? In the northern hemisphere.
So what I did for this, and let's just get it. We'll just get it started. So this is June 5th, 2023 outreach meeting. We are starting to slow down outreach activities. The outreach meeting now is once a month for June. This will be the last meeting we have for June. We'll have one meeting in July, and then we take for outreach the entire month of August off. And then we'll start up again in September with our every 2-week cadence, unless we think that outreach can be done once a month. But I think outreach, generally, we need to do it twice a month when we're busy. The only thing that we have coming up is I did schedule a Ortelius online meetup with the folks from Cube Shop, and there's a project called Test Cube. I'm co-hosting this as both a CDF online meetup and an Ortelius meetup, and that will be June 21st. On June 22nd, Steve is going to be holding the first CDF workshop. And he's going to be, it's called something like
it's like securing your supply
chain from code to deployment. That was set up by Sime, and so that has been scheduled. I know it's scheduled, but I haven't gotten any kind of social networking tile as of yet to share it. And then on a final note that needs to just be pushed out there, let me bring up Hootsuite real quick.
Yeah, on that, I got the invite from Michelle at the CDF.
Oh, you did.
So
good.
Those pieces are coming together, but like you said, I don't think any of the social stuff has been figured out.
Yeah, I'm hoping she gets it to me today because it's getting late in the month already. Let me look here. Well, I got to do my own. I don't have any post out there today.
Wow, okay. This cube looks so cool.
That should be an interesting call, interesting meetup.
When are you doing that?
June 21st.
I'd love to listen to that. Oh, yes. So there's the meetup that came up. I did. I signed up for that, I think. It was on Ortelius, is it?
Yeah, that one? It's on Ortelius.
Yeah. Okay, sorry. Yeah.
Okay, so I have now, check out this cute little icon that I created for your blog.
Oh, nice.
You know how I created that?
The ninja. Oh, you did it through Picasso?
Dolly. Yeah.
Did you use Dolly? That is so cool. It came out awesome.
I used Dolly. Yeah, I thought so too.
Did you replace Bruce Lee with an alien?
Well, I didn't know for the social media stuff. I left Bruce Lee in your blog, but I was worried about the copyright on that.
Oh,
so
I always forget about that.
Yeah, I just left it in the blog because I don't think but I just decided to change it for the tag.
I think that's a good idea. Thanks, Tracy. I totally forgot about that stuff. I just think, these images are so cool, and let's just check it
out. And on that, I have now taken all of our blogs from February and April were already pushed out till October. So I have them going out in everybody gets it twice a month through for 6 months. And now all of the videos that we did from our Visionary Summit are posted out there in the same way. So if you guys will start seeing this stuff, and it's all set up and ready to go and posted out. But Arvin, that does not get you up. So all that's done. I will continue to post like this meeting. I'll put a post out there that says, hey, if you didn't attend, here's the update. But Arvin, what I could still use you for is we need to have other content that's not quite so self-serving. So if there is good content around news around Kubernetes, new releases of Kubernetes, or any of the tools that we work with at the Linux Foundation, we should be watching that and posting that as well. So you and Sime both have access to this, and it would be great for you to do on a more regular basis, be just going out there and looking for good news items that we can share.
Yeah, I will do that. I have my semester exam from tomorrow, but after 15 June, I will be free and I will schedule it.
Great. And when you do, so if you see like this is a recommended time, over here where it says schedule, you can say schedule and duplicate. So you can create a blog and then you can push it out several times. The good thing about social media is that most people are not always on it. So you can post things more than once. I usually try to post them once a month, or if it's one of our own internal content, I'll post it twice a month. But news you can post out there 2 or 3 times in the course of a month, and it's still fine. It's better for us to have more content going out than, and even if it's duplicated, than not have content. So right now we have content. I try to look on here and make sure we have something going out every single day, that we have a post. So right now this week we have something going out every single day, and sometimes we have 2 things going out, which is great. If we could have 2 posts a day, that would be amazing. So Arvin, I just need you to kind of look at what we could potentially do to add just sprinkle some more news and not quite so self-serving blogs around here.
I will do that.
And reach out to me if you need help or you have questions. And maybe while we're going down in this quiet mode in September or in June, July, and August, Sim, you and I could just get together and talk about Hootsuite.
Yeah, I will definitely contact you after my exam, maybe after 2 weeks.
Okay, super. And that's really kind of all I have.
Well, why don't you fill them in on the working group meeting that we had last Friday with
Guac. Yes, we met.
Guac plus the artifacts group.
Why am I not? Okay, that's right. So this is all really more on the architecture side as opposed to the outreach. We did meet with the Guac is basically it's a graphing dashboard for showing how packages are related. It's a lot of data. It shows, I mean, it's the graphs are pretty freaking detailed. They are it's just insane how many dependencies there are across these packages. They are an extension of the Salsa project. We met with them and shared information. And Sasha, after this call, I'd like to chat with you about that project. And then we did the artifacts under the CNCF. There's something called Application Delivery Working Group, or SIG, and they have created a sub project around artifacts. Alex Flom had bugged us to make sure that we attended. So Steve and I attended that meeting. It was their first meeting. We nominated Alex to run it. So now an Inforce person is now running a CNCF project, which is great because this kind of cross-pollination will be critical for us all. And that meeting is right now, I think it's just once a month. Steve, do you know the cadence of that meeting?
They don't know the cadence yet. They're going to send out a doodle to figure it out, but right now it's like once a month. They're forming the working group charter, and once that's done, then more formal stuff will get in place, like what are the meeting links and all that, what's the YouTube channel that the things are going to, all that will be figured out once they get the working group, the sub working group approved.
Yep. So it is in the works. There were some really interesting folks on the call that have ran some of the CNCF working groups and projects. I think it will be a very interesting discussion. The good news is if you're on the Ortelius side, you don't need to worry about it a whole lot unless you just are interested to see what's happening. And we have Inforce people who are committing to work on that side of the house. So for managing and storing and tracking data around artifacts, that's where that discussion is going to be happening. We have already a lot of data to bring to that team, and Steve and I will definitely keep attending those meetings. And as soon as, what I'll do is I will send an email out to everyone to let them know when the Guac meetings are and when the artifact meetings are. So if you want to attend either one of those.
I feel like we're in the eye of the storm. I know it's not a very good connotation, but it feels like Ortelius is in the center. They're like chilling out, and everyone else is like, "Oh, let's get to Ortelius."
We are. I feel the same way. I really do.
It's like let's add another leg to Ortelius.
We're in a really good place. We are gathering all that data, so it puts us in a very interesting place.
Certainly sounds like it. Jeepers.
I have something to discuss. Uh, can we create a sponsor page for Ortelius?
A what page?
Uh, a sponsor phase, like GitHub sponsor for for Ortelius only. I have two things to discuss. First is the sponsor phase, and second thing is feedback.
I don't know if I
want
know what
to
a sponsor page is. Do I know what a sponsor page is?
Is that on GitHub, Arvind? Is that the one you were talking about?
I think we can create another like separate because for GitHub accounts, like you and me, we can sponsor each other but
Yeah.
for a product, I don't know. So
Uh,
my idea is that if people are sponsoring us, then we will simply ask that what you want from our areas, that what feature you want, and we will create it for you. And we can create a survey like this. So instead of creating an open source product, we can use it like a product base, and we can use a product approach and ask them that what product they want, what integration they want, and if they're sponsoring us, we will create those for them, and they will get a sneak peek before everyone else.
I think it's like when Steve asked us to create our Stripe accounts. You could create a sponsorship page for yourself. I know
Yeah,
what you're talking about. I know
like
exactly what you're talking
yeah.
about.
For example, like Steve has a
So are
GitHub
you
sponsor
saying
account, and
create one
10
of those for
people.
Ortelius?
Yeah, yeah, something like Steve has 10 people are sponsoring Steve, and Steve is making an open source project. So Steve will talk to that 10 people that this is the product I am working on, and if you want any specific feature for this product, I can make one for you. So like in this way, they will give us more money, and we will create those features. Something
So,
like that for a project.
so what doesn't this go along with the sponsors? We already are a sponsor because we have a sponsor program.
So no, it's like we are sponsoring people, but our sponsor will be startup or another companies that want to use Ortelius. So they will demand that I want this feature in Ortelius, and they will pay that much money, and we
So
will create those features.
companies sponsoring
Uh,
Ortelius.
I see. So
Yes.
a way for us to get funding for Ortelius.
Right, through end
So,
user sponsors.
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
we have to
like
get
we have to create
end
we have
First
users
we
to
have to
first.
get some
do
end
some
users.
surveys. Oh,
We need to work on end users first.
I
That is
think Deploy
definitely,
Hub is Deploy Hub's an end user, isn't it?
yes, we're an end
Oh,
user. We need to get more deploy hubs. And yes, that would be a fabulous idea, Arvin, 100%. And
in a kind of weird way.
why don't we do this? Let's not, I don't want to start anything new before summer, but
Yeah,
in September, why don't you do a presentation for the outreach meeting about what that would look like? So we can
that's a
all
good
start
idea.
getting excited about it.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
And that'll help that'll give us some time to work through some of the folks that we met at CDCon to see how interested they are, like ThoughtWorks and a couple other companies, to see where we can bring those folks aboard.
and can we do one thing also, like in the summer, like we can create a survey and asking companies that if they want to use hot areas, what are the features they want, like create a survey. Or if you
So
are using
the
something like
right,
that,
yeah, this is the problem with surveys, and I've thought about doing surveys before, and we did one a while back. The only people that we can survey really are Deploy Hub's email base. I can't survey, and this is the internal to the Linux Foundation. They're very strict with how you use the emails for the projects. What I can do is send a survey out to all of the people that are in the DevOps in the Google group. So I can send surveys out to that, and it's only about 250 people, which isn't a very good sampling of data. So out of 250, if I get 25 back, I'm doing really well. And
Mm,
it's not, we just don't have a broad enough group. Now, if we could think about come up with what we want, what we want to ask, when the CD Foundation, they do an annual big survey, we can add questions to that survey.
mm.
So
It's hard to do surveys.
we have
It is, yeah. It's very
We have-
hard.
You need to survey out to about 50,000 people.
And
to
you
get
probably get a
any-
very low
Yeah.
response, right? Unless you're offering Amazon vouchers or something.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
need at least at least 1,000 people to do a survey.
Yeah.
1,000 people to respond to really get data that's useful.
Yeah, otherwise it's not really useful, is it?
It's
Mm.
not. You get, I mean, I did surveys in the beginning. We did surveys around should we do a governing board? Those kinds of things we surveyed for that were very specific to our group. And that we can do. So if we had a question about how we want to pursue governing the board or governing the open source project, and we go out and we ask the people who are watching our project or contributing to our project in some way, that's fair. But a broader survey about using we can, I think it's a good idea, Arvin, that we do that survey directly to our community that says, are you running into this problem? Do you think you will be implementing Ortelius as an adopter in the next 12 months? How about
I think we should reach out to different companies that are not in our networks.
Yeah, and I can't do that. The only way I can't do that via email.
So I think we can do something like in the summer of 2 months, we can try a coffee chat with different CEOs and founders. In this way, we will increase our network and we will advertise our product also.
It's just
we
how do
have to figure out.
It's like, but how to reach them is the problem. We can't do an email to them because they didn't give us their email, so I don't have those emails. If we do
you
it
get
through,
into that whole spam world.
if we do it, we can do it through social networking, but that doesn't mean those people are looking at us.
Yeah, that's the main problem.
I guess
Yeah,
you could have on
outreach
your
is- Some people are-
homepage. Oh, sorry. I'm sorry.
Because maybe some people say they are interested and if they didn't look into our product, then we will not get any response or result. So we have to do something so that people will take a look. They want to take a look at our projects. Like we have to do something to become a spotlight for even once a month. So we will get some traffic.
So let me tell you how I'm trying to solve this problem, Arvin. I am trying to solve this problem by making Ortelius more visible within the Linux Foundation. So if you think about the Linux Foundation has literally hundreds of open source projects and open source teams that work for big companies throughout the world. They're right now, the OpenSSF is working on what's called they just started a Sterling toolchain group. They are a group of security professionals who want to see security actions executed as part of the DevOps pipeline. Signature, for example, generating SBOMs. They know that they don't have a dashboard. So we're involved in that to bring Ortelius as their dashboard. That's one opportunity.
That's really cool.
In the same way, we have the CD Foundation has CD events, which will disrupt how CI/CD is performed today. The problem with all of the tools, not just Ortelius, but generating SBOMs, creating new signatures, SigStore has the same problem, is that in order to automate it, you have to update the CI/CD pipeline files. And there's literally millions of them. CD events will disrupt that. So if we are part of the CD events conversation and we become a dashboard for collecting the data that CD events is executing in an event-based process as opposed to a pipeline scripted process, then we are going to get more eyes on the product. So there is a road to adoption that can be beyond trying to just do outreach to larger companies, because if Ortelius is then adopted internal to some of these projects, we are going to get the eyes of the enterprises that are looking to the OpenSF to solve the problem.
Yeah,
So that is the path that I'm working on.
no, that's a good path.
But I'm hoping that, but Arvin, keep thinking about this, and let's think about a way that we could potentially, we could even do we could run a social networking campaign and push out just to our LinkedIn and our Twitter accounts. Haven't started Mastodon yet because I don't interface with Hootsuite, and that's how I do the work. A survey, and we can get people who we don't know, right? But we'll have to really be careful about how we pose the questions. And the questions may not be about Ortelius, but it may be about how they're implementing a dashboard around collecting the evidence, right? We could start having a conversation about evidence. So let's keep talking about this. And again, I don't want to start any big projects now because I just told everybody we're going to slow down. But we should do it for September.
And one thing that we can also try contacting roadies, because they are using Vaxate a lot, and we are integrating Vaxate into Ortelius. So that would be a good option also.
Okay. Arvin, do you have the notes from today's meeting? I don't think we're updating it yet, are we? For our 2023 outreach. Yes, we have not started minutes from today yet. Arvin, what I want you to do is let me get it set up here. After this call, would you update these meeting minutes with your ideas on everything we just talked about?
I will update it tomorrow after my exam.
I will send you an email with the link and ask you to I'm going to just put a section on Arvin's thoughts.
Yeah, that's good thinking.
And we talked about, I'll just leave it at that. Arvin, if you could just put bullet points that we may want to start working on in September.
Okay, I will write all my thoughts in it.
Okay, that would be great. Including, don't forget the sponsorship one too. So you want to talk about the survey and the sponsorship. All righty.
Yeah.
Let's ask one quick question. I know I've been on Ortelius for a while, but the difference between Ortelius and Deploy Hub is that the Ortelius open source version cannot integrate into things like Active Directory. Is that true? Is that am I thinking?
Not entirely. So think about it this way. Deploy Hub has restricted user groups.
Yeah.
Ortelius has 2 user groups, an administrator and a user.
Okay, yeah.
And
we
cool. In Deploy Hub, we held back what we would consider enterprise security pieces, which would be multiple any kind of group you wanted. So you could create a group around an application, you could create a group around an enterprise.
Okay. I just want to understand that limitation because I'm going to take Ortelius into the South African retailer who could desperately needs this.
Yes, I think a lot of people are starting to go, wow, we really need something to standardize where all of our data is.
Yeah,
so that is the difference. That is the main difference. There are some other cool things that Deploy Hub has, but it's mainly around doing deployments. For example, you can schedule deployments. There's a scheduling tool in it. And it can, you can set it up to fail a deployment if certain things haven't been achieved. But the biggest difference is around the user groups. Ortelius only has admin and user.
Which is actually kind of fine for making check. Yeah, it makes sense, right? You can't give the whole thing away.
It's exactly the same as Jenkins. We follow the Jenkins and the CloudBees model to the T.
Okay, awesome. That's
that
actually a really
worked.
great piece of advice you've given me, because I've got somebody that I'm working with who's developed a really amazing tool for message streams, but doesn't know how to open source it, right? He's a developer. So I like that idea of restricting it around the user groups and that type of thing, right? It's a really great way of doing it, actually.
It's the primary reason why a company would upgrade would be to be able to restrict a developer from doing a deployment to production.
Yeah, that's cool. Thanks, Tracy. That's super helpful.
All right, I think that is it.
Mm.
So I am going to stop recording, and then Sasha, I have something else. And Arvin, you're
Oh,
welcome
yeah.
to stay on. Yeah, I have something else I want to chat with you about. So
Oh,
thanks,
cool. Yeah.
everybody, and I'm going to stop recording.
Yeah. See you later. Bye, everyone.